Hello everybody. Welcome back to the Miyamo Jeff 53 YouTube channel with your ever effervescent host, myself, Miyamo Jeff 53. And welcome back to my rating, every Premier League 24-25 kit. Nearly got that wrong. Today we are doing the away kits. Obviously last time we did the home kits. I think it's been about a week or so since I did the home kits, and a couple more kits have dropped since then. Still don't have all the third kits yet, which means I'm gonna have to wait to do the third kits video for a while longer. But we're just gonna crack straight on with our away kits, and of course we start with the first in the alphabet, the Arsenal Football Club. It certainly is a kit, I'll tell you that. I'll be honest with you guys, I think this looks like a bottle of Lynx Africa. I'm not a huge fan. I'll tell you what I do like. I like the use of the cannon still. You know, they're using the cannon as their badge on all of their kits this season, which I like. I actually quite like the green and red on the collar and on the sleeve stripes. I think that looks pretty nice. I don't mind the Emirates sponsor. I mean, you know, I've got a top with an Emirates sponsor on right now, so it'd be a bit hypocritical of me to say I don't like it. But for me, I feel like they really could have got away with not using the weird white inlays, like the weird white on the shoulder here and the cut-ins down here. I'm not a big fan of that, and it takes my attention away from the rest of the kit, which, I'll be honest, it's a fairly boring kit without it. But I think adding the white actually makes it like there's too much going on, if you get what I mean. It makes it a little bit of a mess. And for me, I think a fair score for this, I gave the home kit a 6. I think this is going to have to be a 5 for me, 5 out of 10. Okay, next up we have Aston Villa. Of course, one-time European champions, which Arsenal can't say they are. And they are in the Champions League this season again, of course. And they have moved from Castore to Adidas. First time they're back with Adidas in God knows how many years. And this kit it's boring. It's boring. I thought the home kit was fairly boring, but it was still alright, because, you know, it's claret and blue, it's hard to mess that up. Yeah, this is another boring one. I think it's the exact same template, but rather than being claret, it's white. And instead of blue stripes, it's like a lavender. The collar is basically the same, but again, it's the lavender colour instead of the blue. I don't hate it, I just think it's very boring. Like, it looks more like something that someone in the lower leagues would be wearing rather than a Champions League quality team, especially a Premier League Champions League quality team. Not a fan of the Betano sponsor. I don't like betting sponsors in general. For me, this is just going to be a 6. Because it's not bad by any means, it's just boring. Same as the Arsenal kit and same as the Aston Villa kit for the homes. It's just a boring one, 6 out of 10. Okay, next up we have Bournemouth. Now obviously if you watched my home kit ranking video, you will know my opinions on all of the Bournemouth kits. They all stink because of one thing, and that is the sponsor. You have a sponsor that says BJ88 on it. That can't run. It's 2024, you can't have a sponsor that alludes to blowjobs. And I know it's some betting company, doesn't make it any better. Outside of the sponsor though, I actually don't hate the kit. I do prefer the home kit. I think the home kit is a lot classier in terms of the design, with the black stripes with the gold trim. This one, it's a bit of a hodgepodge. Like, it's quite messy. It's not terrible by any means. I do like the use of the colours. I think it definitely stands out, and I think it's probably going to be a favourite of the Bournemouth fans. But I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, it kind of reminds me of a lot of Bournemouth's away kits. They're fun, but they're not particularly brilliant. They're just kind of, yeah, okay. But of course, this is ruined by having a terrible sponsor that is in gold still. Having a gold sponsor on a kit that's white, mint green, and purple, that doesn't run. No. So not only have you got a blowjob sponsor, it looks bad. With that in mind, unfortunately, the kit is going to have to get 2.5 out of 10. I think I give the home kit a 2. Maybe I'm going to retroactively bump up the home kit from a 2 to a 3, but the away kit is a 2.5. So next up we have Brentford, who have a fairly classy away kit this season, barring the horrendous Hollywood Bet sponsor. It's very plain. It's a nice shade of, I want to say, either blue or purple, very light. It's got the anniversary Umbro badge with the blocked out diamond in the middle. Nice sleeve trim, you know, nice little button-up collar. But I'm looking at it and it just kind of looks less like a football kit and more like a polo top that they would wear. You know, when they have the press conferences and they wear the club polo tops, it kind of gives me those vibes more than an actual football kit. I haven't seen it on the players yet, so maybe it looks better on the players, but the way I'm seeing it right now, it's kind of boring again. It's nice, but it's boring, and it's got a bad sponsor. So, for my money, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. The sponsor brings it down probably a full mark, really. Brighton is next. Brighton and Hove Albion. Can't forget the and Hove Albion. Last week I think I said like Androve Albion. I flubbed my words basically. So their away kit this season is using a template from last season with the little cut-ins at the top of the neckline. I think it looks out of place. I know it's like a homage to the old 2002 World Cup kits, I think, but no, it for Brighton, really? Come on, man. So the kit is primarily a darkish yellow, almost like an old gold. Not an old gold, but I'm fairly certain that I've seen Wolves in a colour similar to this, with black stripes down the front and black cuffs on the sleeves. A few problems with this. As I say, I don't like the cut-ins at the neckline. I like the shade of yellow used. I think the darker yellow with the black works better than like a bright yellow on a Dortmund kit. Obviously with Dortmund it's more of like a historic thing, but for a Brighton away kit, I don't know, right? I'm sure Mahmoud Dahoud will fit right in this kit. A few of my problems are the lines stop again halfway through, so you've just got a big band through the middle where the American Express sponsor is. Again, I don't mind the Amex sponsor. I do mind the line stopping to fit it in. I mean, it would make it hard to read if you didn't, but maybe just have the lines go all the way down and then put the sponsor on in white, because the Nike tick is in white, which kind of stands out again. Obviously the Brighton badge is still in blue. I don't know why you couldn't have just like done it in black and white instead. Maybe because Nike didn't put much effort into it. Maybe. I mean, do I prefer this to the home kit? I don't know. I think I'd probably put them on a similar level. And by that, I mean, I'm probably going to give this... I can't remember what I gave the home kit. I think I gave it like a 5 or a 5.5. I'm going to give it a 5. Just smack bang in the middle of the table. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I don't hate it, and there are parts of it I like, but not for me. Not for me. The cut-ins and the white tick and the line stop, and there's too many flaws with it for me to give it a good score. So, next up we have Chelsea. Their away jersey, I like more than the home kit. So it's got like a light beigey base on the kit with like an orange trim around the sleeves here and a little bit here, and around the Nike tick as well. And I think there's a little bit behind the side trim on the kit. And then obviously blue for the collar, blue for the sleeve cuffs, and blue for the main side trim. The one problem I have with it is I do not like the badge on it. I think making the Chelsea badge red is weird and I don't like it. I don't mind it, like changing the colours and stuff, but they haven't changed it to the colours that they used on the kit, which is a bugbear for me, because why not just make the badge the same colour of orange, and why make it red? I like the tangerine orange, but then the badge is red. I don't get it. I don't... Also, I feel like Chelsea fans probably won't like the badge being red themselves, because obviously they're not exactly a big fan of red teams in London, like Arsenal. I like the use of the orange, you know, quite sparingly, a little trim here, a little bit around the Nike tick here, and a little bit on the sleeves and the side trim. I do like the kit. I think out of the 3 kits they've got this season, it's probably my favourite, but it's not like fantastic or anything. I think I'm going to give it a 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 I think is fair, in my opinion. Next up, we have Crystal Palace. Now, in the home kit video, I did complain about Crystal Palace using the motif of the eagle logo, you know, for all the stripes on the badge. Well, they've not done that this time, but they have still used the eagle motif. The entire kit has the eagle on it. Like, the eagle is just, they've gone into Photoshop and they've got the enlarge tool and done it like times 15, right? I don't like it. I think the blue and the yellow doesn't work. I don't like blue and yellow kits as it is. You know, I know Colchester like a blue and yellow for an away kit, and Mansfield is blue and away as well. I just don't like a blue and away together. Cadiz, again, don't like blue and yellow together as a colour scheme. A lighter blue I could get behind, but it's quite dark blue they're using. And I do not like it. I don't like the giant eagle. It makes it look quite tatty, and I think it having another betting sponsor, Net88, I think that also hurts the kit. I'm trying to think of any real positives I can think about the kit. The shade of yellow, I'm not really a fan of the shade of yellow. It's quite like a washed out bright yellow. I don't like that. I'm not a huge fan of the collar. Like I say, I feel like the blue is too dark and the yellow is too light, so it's too much of a contrast and it makes the kit look bad. I don't like the giant eagle motif across the entire kit. I think I'm going to have to give it a 2 out of 10. I do genuinely think this is one of the worst away kits this season in the Premier League. I think it's very poor. Now we have Everton, of course. This is their first season under Castore, as I laid out in the home kits, and I think I gave the home kit like a 6 because it's pretty good. It's pretty standard. Looks a bit like a Rangers kit. Well, don't have those complaints about this one. This is fairly standard, but it certainly doesn't look like a Rangers kit. So they've used a black base, like, not really black because it's kind of like, it's more like a really dark grey. It's a really dark grey base with a yellow trim. And the important part about this kit is the Everton badge has been replaced with just the insignia of the tower from their badge. Just like this little tiny tower thing here. I don't like that. I think it's way too minimalist. I think it looks bad. If the pattern of that was sort of like repeated on the print of the shirt, then I think I might like it more, but it's not. It's like these weird geometric patterns, which kind of looks like one of those pictures that's sort of playing with your mind, where it's like, you know, your depth of perception's fucked. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but you'll know what I mean. I feel like I say, if they'd have used the badge motif as like more of a print throughout it, I would have been less against it. But I feel like the you know, it's just basically a pentagon. I don't really like it. I do actually kind of like the pattern on the kit. It's just because the badge doesn't suit, it brings it down, which is a shame because the rest of the kit is actually quite nice. I like the little yellow ring around the collar. I do actually quite like the shade they've used, and I like the geometric pattern. It's just the badge makes me think, well, why didn't you do more with it? You've just put this tiny little pentagon in the shape of the tower from the actual badge on the kit and said, right, there's your kit. It's a shame because I do like the kit, and I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, but I think it could have been an 8 if they'd have incorporated more of the badge into the actual motif of the shirt. We have Fulham, who, if you'll remember from the home kits, I gave a really high score to. I think I gave them one of the highest scores on the home kits. And you know what? I think they might have done the double here. They might have done the double, because this kit, this is a Barclays Heritage kit. This is real fucking Premier League kind of kit, this. I really like this. It's because it's just like, it looks like one of those kits you would have seen 10-15 years ago for Fulham. I'm pretty sure they've used this away kit, like pattern, in the past before. I think it was, I can't remember who it was with. It might have been Le Coq Sportif. I don't think it was Kappa. It might have been Nike maybe. I don't remember if Fulham had Nike. But either way, right, this is a proper Barclays kit. It's very hard to put into words why that makes it so good, but I will try. I really like the fact that the black stripes down the front completely encompass the badge and the Adidas logo. I don't like the sponsor, obviously that was a negative I had before, and I don't like the sleeve sponsor. I think the sleeve sponsor looks worse on this one, but again, we'll let that slide. It just looks like a proper heritage kit. It's one of those things where that you can't really, it's hard to put it into words. It's just one of the ones you look at it and you're like, yeah. It's a lovely retro callback with the black and red stripes. If I were a Fulham fan, 100% I'd be getting this. I'd be getting this with the Emile Smith Rowe on the back, because it's a nice kit. It's a really nice kit. Yeah, it probably is just a basic template for Adidas, but they've done a good job with it. Do I think it's as good as the home kit? If I were just looking at it from a design standpoint, which I'm going to, no. In terms of how much it fits the Premier League and Fulham in general, 100%, it's great. With that in mind, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So the home kit was an 8, this is a 7. But weirdly, I prefer this kit, if you get what I mean. Like, this kit instills nostalgia in me that the home kit doesn't. But I do really like this kit. If you're a Fulham fan, 100%, get your mitts on this. Now we have Ipswich, of course, their first season back in the Premier League with Umbro as the manufacturer. I quite like this one as well, you know. I like the gold trim. I do like the shade of like dark, like browny red, like a maroon they've used for the base of the kit. The print's pretty fun. It's like a mishmash of a lot of, it looks like chessboards and a few stripes here and there. It's very fun. And I like the navy collar and the navy trim on the sleeves. I think that looks really nice. Again, it's quite another high collar in terms of like just a big thick one that's quite high up on the shirt from Umbro, which, as I said in the last one, I liked it on the home kit, I like it on this one. Obviously the anniversary Umbro badge, so it's blocked out again. I'm looking at it right now, and it does kind of give me West Ham vibes a little bit, if you get what I'm saying. It's a little bit West Ham-y, but that's not a bad thing. Umbro have done a great job with West Ham, as we'll come on to later. The negatives for me are the pattern doesn't continue on the sleeves, which is a bit of a bummer. It does sort of bring down a little bit. And again, don't like the Ed Sheeran sponsor. The sponsor's bad. It's ugly, bit of an eyesore. They've had it for years now. I really like this. I can give the home kit an 8. I'm going to give this an 8 as well. I think it's another strong showing for Ipswich. Umbro have done them well. Okay, following up from Ipswich, we have Leicester City. Very, very shitty. You know, like what the kids used to do, flicking the finger like that. I think this shirt is quite ugly. It looks like a pre-match shirt in the most pure sense. It looks like somebody's dropped a bag of chalk, like mixed chalk that you would use to draw on the pavement with, and it just looks gross. The terrible sponsor from the home kit is still there with the probably illegal Pac-Man. The pattern doesn't continue onto your sleeves, so it just stops once it gets to your shoulder line, which I think looks worse. If it continued the whole way around the shirt, I might look at it more favourably, but the fact that it's just kind of just on the front and back panels of the shirt, it's gross. The whited out Leicester logo, okay, cool. The dark grey sleeve stripes over the rest of the black base, okay. It looks like somebody's dropped a glitter bomb on a blackout kit, and I'm not a fan. I really do not like this. Same as the home kit. I wasn't a huge fan of the home kit. This one, really not a fan of this, and I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 10, same as the Bournemouth away kit. Next up we have Liverpool, who have got a very boring kit this season. It's basically just a black shirt with a little bit of turquoise on the sleeve trim. I don't know, it's just boring. Like, the little like lines down here, they give me Nike Tech Fit vibes. Like, you know the ones that you see all the lads wearing to raves and stuff with the like the high vis lines across the top of the shoulder. Kind of looks like that, which maybe, to be fair, is part of the appeal of it, because obviously in Liverpool a lot of lads wear those kind of shirts. They wear those kind of tops quite often. But to me, who doesn't, I just think it's a very boring away kit. I think it's very boring, because the kit's not actually black. It's, like I say, it's the same as the Everton kit. It's just a very dark grey, and then the collar is a ever so slightly lighter grey. The logos aren't pure white as well, they're like a off-white kind of colour. I can't say it's bad, because it's not bad, it's just boring. I think similar to a lot of the other kits from earlier in the video, like the Brentford one, I think it's just going to have to be a 5, maybe a 5.5, because it's just boring. Again, at least the home kit has tried something, right? This one's just boring. 5.5. Next up, we have Manchester City, who, for their away kit, have gone for a retro kit. Yeah, they're taking inspiration from the 98-99 season away kit, from when they won promotion back into the Premier League from the First Division, as it was at the time, beating, I think it was Gillingham in the playoff final. And I really like this. I really like the original as well, by Kappa, and I think Puma have done a pretty good job of recreating this. I like the yellow and... See, this is an example of how you do yellow and blue correctly, Crystal Palace, because they use a light blue with a light yellow, not a light yellow with a dark blue, so the contrast is too bad. Because they're both light shades, and you've got the black as well, which like draws the attention away from it slightly, it works, and it works really well. Etihad sponsor, fine. The collar's nice with the little yellow and blue on it as well, and on the sleeve. Only problem I have is where the side panel and the front panel sort of meet, where the side panel is, bottom half of it anyway, is entirely yellow, and it sort of cuts off a couple of the lines. That's the only part that I'm not hugely loving. But in terms of the rest of the kit, I think it's a really, really strong away kit, and it might be my favourite one this season. Yeah, this one for me, I'm going to give it a nice solid 8 out of 10. Better than the home kit, certainly. A lot better than the home kit. Next up, we have the Manchester United away kit. I'm not a fan of the Manchester United away kit. I like the shade of blue they've used. I like the navy blue. It's quite nice. Outside of that, I think the silver does work with the navy blue, actually. I think the silver, if they'd have used a gold instead, then I think it would have looked even better, because navy and gold goes fantastically. I certainly don't hate it. I like the collar. You know, I'm just a sucker for a button-up collar, really. There's just something about it that screams cricket to me, though, which I know, obviously, there is the cricket ground, Old Trafford, down the road. I feel like I should see Ben Stokes wearing this rather than Anthony, if you get what I mean. I also don't like the M printing in, like, weird diamonds. I don't really see the significance of it. I like M for Manchester, which is where the club is, I guess. I like the Snapdragon sponsor, though. I think it's a damn sight better than Team Bureau, as I said last time. It's not too bad at all, the sponsor. I think the kit, I'm just going to give it a 6 out of 10. Like I say, I don't think it's terrible. I just don't like it very much. I can get why people would like it, though. So yeah, 6 out of 10, in my opinion. Next up, we have Newcastle United. And I'm just going to get it out of the way. This is an 8 out of 10 for me. It's a callback to their away kit from the 95-96 season. The blue and maroon hoops. And it's bloody gorgeous. They used David Ginola for the reveal for it. And yeah. Yeah, man. This is a real kit. I'll just give you the drawbacks now. Don't like the seller sponsor on this. It feels wrong. You know what I mean? It just feels wrong. The whited out Newcastle badge, I would have rather they just kept it normal rather than whiten it out, to be honest. Other than that, though, I don't really have any other negatives to say about it. I like the collar being quite thick. I like the white stripes. I like the actual, like, maroon and blue stripes, or hoops, sorry. I don't really... It's hard to... I feel like it's harder to say the positives of the kit than the negatives, when the kit is, like... It's slightly boring, but it's good. And that's what this is. It's like, you know, it's a callback to a retro kit. Same with the Fulham one. It's a callback to a retro kit, and it was a good retro kit, and it's a good recreation of said retro kit. It's hard to really give out proper positives for it, but I don't know, I just really like it. I like the original one with the button-up collar. This one, maybe they could have given it a button-up collar. That would have pushed it to like the 9s for me. 8 out of 10. I'm finding it very difficult to say what I like about it, other than, yeah, it just looks really nice. And I like the hoops. And I like the collar and the white stripes. It just works. It all works. It's a great kit. 8 out of 10. Nottingham Forest are next. It's very pink. Lots of very hot pink on this kit. It's a navy base with hot pink as its secondary colour and a weird like zigzaggy lines down the front. Got that fucking horrendous sponsor again, the Cayenne sponsor. I don't know what to say about it. I think it's just gross. It's going to be a festival kit, same as the Chelsea home kit from this year, I'm sure. I just think it's gross. Hurts my eyes looking at it for too long. It's going to be a 2 out of 10. I don't want to speak about it anymore. The more I look at it, the more my eyes hurt. So 2 out of 10. Southampton's away kit next. This is a kit. I'll tell you what. It's quite bold. It's another Puma job. Of course, they've just moved over from Hummel. The badge is entirely yellow with the black outlines instead of, you know, the red and white. That awful roll bit sponsor with the green wheel is still there when the entire kit is yellow with a few little black bits here and there. It's the same colour as the home kit, just black and yellow instead of black and red. It's like a weird, like, just a lot of lines going on, very geometric. Looks a bit like a goalkeeper kit more than a home kit. Not a home kit, sorry, more like a goalkeeper kit than an away kit. I'm not a fan. Again, it's similar vein to the Nottingham Forest one. It hurts my eyes looking at it. Like, it looks like a highlighter. The sponsor just not blending in one bit and just popping off the shirt for some weird cryptocurrency shaboing boing. It's gross. No. This is a 3 out of 10. Not as bad as Forest's, but I think that's just because I prefer yellow to navy and hot pink. 3 out of 10. Tottenham Hotspur. They're next. I'm going to get out of the way. Why is the Nike Tech here and then the badge and sponsor here? That's problem 1. Problem 2. Why is the collar wonky? It looks like the collar's not correct. The collar's not finished. Problem 3. I don't really have a third problem, I'll be honest. The rest of the kit I think is kind of nice. Does give a little bit, maybe this could be problem 3, slight boy in the striped pyjama vibes. The little tiny bits of, is that like a really light yellow on the sleeves and a little bit on the inside of the collar? I don't hate that. The weird tram lines down here, like they had in the Liverpool kit and the Chelsea away kit, don't fit. Like, they do not suit at all. I do like the light blue they've chosen for some of it, because really gradienty, which as we know, I'm not a big gradient man. I think it's just going to have to be a 5. Maybe a 4. The more I look at it, the more I'm thinking 4 out of 10 for this. Poor job from Spurs. Poor job. Now it's time for Irons. West Ham United. I think it's alright. It uses like a burgundy on it a few times. It's like a black base with a burgundy print across it of, it says here, the St Mary Le Bow Church in Cheapside on the east of the City of London, which I'm assuming is a reference to the Cockneys. I guess it's a historic Cockney church, I suppose. Don't like the Betway sponsor, don't like the Intuit QuickBooks sponsor on the sleeve, but I do like the Umbro badge with the little, obviously it's an anniversary one again, so you get the little block out on the interior and it's red, and I like that. I like the badge, the actual shield of the badge and the writing inside is all that same burgundy colour, and then hammers are white, and then you got the little burgundy trim just there on your sleeves. I think it's quite nice. I think Umbro have done quite a lot of like prints on their shirt though, and I think this is probably the weakest of the ones they've done so far. I think the Ipswich one was a little better than this. I think I'm just going to have to give this, I'm making it sound like it's a bad score I'm going to give it, by the way. It's not a bad score. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I do think it's quite nice. Would I wear it? No, because I'm not a West Ham fan. But if I were a West Ham fan, would I wear it? Maybe. I mean, the collar's alright as well. Yeah, I think a 6.5 is fair. I'll go with that. Last up, Finalement, we have Wolverhampton Wanderers. Of course, we have Sudo as our shirt sponsors now. Or kit manufacturers, sorry, not shirt sponsors. We have DBet as our shirt sponsor, which is gross. This is a kit. This is certainly a football kit of all time. I was complaining about the Sudo logo being in a weird place on the home kit. Here, though, because of the graphic wolf line print thing going across the shirt, I actually don't mind it. I think it kind of suits more where it is on this one. I do like a dark away kit. I like a little black away kit. Would I buy this one? No. I'm still waiting on a third kit. I pray and I hope it actually looks alright. If we even have one this season, we might not. I don't know. I don't hate this at all. I think I've seen a lot of people saying it's a bit gross and it's a bit like egregious. It looks like one of those t-shirts that you'd see teenagers wearing when they're going through the emo phase or something like that. And they got like the alpha wolf like ripping his t-shirt off on it. Gives me those kind of vibes. Whether that's positive or a negative, that's for you to decide. I actually think the line art of the wolf is actually quite nice, weirdly. If it weren't on a football kit, I would think that's actually quite a nice drawing. It's a very difficult one, but I'm going to give it a 5.5, which is slightly lower than the home kit. I certainly don't dislike this kit. I just don't know if I like it or not. That's the problem. Well, there we are. There's my rating of every single away kit from this season. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you agree with my choices and my ratings, leave a like. If you don't agree, still leave a like, and you can speak to me about it in the comments section down below. Remember to subscribe if you've not, and if you think you are, give it a quick check. Turn on that notification bell so you know next time I upload. And yeah, I hope you guys have had a nice time watching me ramble on about football kits for another half hour or so. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.